Magandang gabi po, Congressman Ungab. Maraming salamat po una sa lahat sa mga exposés ninyo at talaga namang malaki ang naitutulong nito sa ating bayan ngayon. Alam niyo naman po, noong una po kayong nagsalita kasama po ni PRD ay nag-react po ang Malacanang. At sinabi po ng Malacanang na kayo daw po ay nagsisinungaling, attorney. So, ano po ang masasabi ninyo doon na ngayon lumalabas na sa mga interviews ng mga congressman na iba-iba po yung kanilang panig, pero just recently po si Congressman Kimbo ay umamin na po sa wakas patungkol po diyan sa mga blankong items sa BICAM.
Good evening. Actually, let's first address yung comments ni E.S. Bersamin, no? Mataas naman ang respeto natin sa kanya, naging Chief Justice yan. At saka, pero I think everybody knows, especially yung mga who were listening to that first podcast natin sa Basta Dabawin nyo. Now, we were very clear that what we mentioned there was blank items in the BICAM report. We never mentioned blank items in the GAA. So, klaro yun. So, we even made a rejoinder na what we said was blank items in the BICAM report. And we can prove it kasi before nag-ratification, lahat ng members, more than 300 members of the House and 24 senators receive a copy in their emails. At saka yung email ko, nung nabuksan ko, December 11 yung date ng email, although late ko na nakita, klaro yun. And a few pages lang, nagbubuksan mo, makikita mo na yung sa page SP11, meron ng blanks. So, that's why gi-bring up ko. And na timing dito si PRD, nandito si Attorney Vic, si Attorney Delgra. Same place, dito kami nagkita-kita noon. Nung pinakita ko sa kanila, so everybody's shocked. Ako rin nung nakita ko sa email, sa aking pagbukas ko na aking email, nung nakita ko yung BICAM report, I was also shocked kung bakit pinirmahan yung BICAM report na may mga blanco. And it's not one or two, but 28 blank items in 13 pages. So, ano talaga ito? It's a big issue na dapat masagot talaga ng BICAM members.
Sir, ito pong inyo pong inahain sa Supreme Court. Ano po bang inaasahan ng taong bayan dito?
After the long discussions, the long story, simulan natin sa kung bakit natin i-file yung kaso na yan. First and foremost, the framers of our Constitution envisioned a budget or a General Appropriations Act that will give priority attention in terms of allocation sa ating education. And we say education, buong education sector, and that should be the number one. And hindi lang framers of our Constitution, I think it is but proper and fitting for each one of us na dapat education talaga tayo mag-concentrate because we are not born equal. May mga anak ng mayaman, may mga anak ng may mga pobre, lalo na dito sa amin sa Mindanao, maraming mga anong tawag naman yan, isang kahig, isang tuka, no? The only chance for us to get an equalizer is through education. Wala nang iba eh. So mag-aral na mabuti, katapos, and through education, you might be able to learn how to improve our lives, improve our economic status. So it is only through education na pwede maging equalizer. And aside from that, on the overall development, socio-economic development ng ating bayan, that is, I would say, that is the only way we can make ourselves, the Filipinos, highly competitive or globally competitive. Kung educated yung ating mga kababayan, we will have an educated and healthy society. We can compete with the other with the other countries in the world. So, na-shock ako dahil na-overtake ang budget ng education sector, na-overtake ng public works ng DPWH. So, kung ikaw ay isang taong may malasakit sa iyong bansa, may malasakit sa iyong bayan, well, I did not say that infra is not needed. Yes, it is needed, but yung infra mo dapat nagfa-follow sa ating economic development plan, kasi meron tayong economic development plan eh. Yung infra na nasa economic development plan, yun yung nasa regular program ng DPWH, kasi approve ng NEDA yun, approve ng DBCC, approve yun ng infra committee doon sa NEDA. Yung mga insertions, katulad nung nangyari sa budget, 288 billion insertions of infrastructure at nilampasan yung education sector. That is not anymore in accordance with economic development plan. Ang nangyari niyan, that is already a kind of yung gusto ng miyembro nung BICAM panel na nagsingit, pet projects nila. Nung araw, ang tawag niyan, pork barrel. Pet projects, siningit, ang infra. Ang problema, nakalimutan nila na naglampas na sila at na-overtake nila yung education sector. And it's very clear in our constitution na number one priority, which we all must agree. Kung ikaw ay isang congressman o senador, bear that in mind, number one. Huwag kang maglampas sa nakasaad sa ating saligang batas. The Constitution says give priority to education. Now, when you approve the BICAM and you have overtaken, sabi ko, you have overtaken the budget of the education sector, nalampasan ng infrastructure, something is wrong. So, nag-research na talaga ako. So, haba-haba ng aking research, may part 1, may part 2, may part 3 ako sa aking research. Klaro yun, kasi yung President's message sa budget, siya nasabi niya na 977 billion, number 1, yung budget ng education sector, 977 billion. Tapos yung number 2 is the budget of the DPWH, which is 900 billion. Then pagdating sa BICAM, binawasan ng 31 billion yung education sector. Tapos dinagdagan ng 288 billion ang budget ng DPWH. So, simple arithmetic, simple mathematics, nahabol talaga. So, yun, pinag-aaralan ko. And while I was studying, nakita ko na yung mga black items. So, after discussing this with the lawyers, and alam naman natin that these are not mere typographical errors. Blanco 28 blank items. Hindi mo pwedeng basta-bastang ma-disregard yan at sabihin blanco. No, it's not. May mali talaga. Highly questionable at pinirmahan At hindi lang pinirmahan, ratified ng dalawang houses of Congress. Both houses of Congress has ratified the Bicameral Conference Committee. So, hindi mo na pwedeng baguhin yun after ma-ratify. So, yun na nga ang question kung bakit pagdating doon sa GAA, kumpleto na. Ang aming tinatanong ay bakit sa Bicam report. So, we found that a very highly questionable issue. Kaya we had the lawyers study it and made the legal research. Ano ang mga existing mga jurisprudence, legal basis. So, we all decided na dapat magpasa na talaga at isampa na ito sa Supreme Court. Dahil that's the only recourse. Na pirmahan na at approve ng budget and it's now undergoing implementation. So the only way na ma-correct ito is to go to the Supreme Court and request the Supreme Court to declare it invalid and unconstitutional. So that's the real reason. Yan ang pinaka-reason at pinaka-background kung bakit kami nag-file.
Well, Congressman Ungab, kayo po ay nagsilbi bilang dating appropriations chair o chairman noong panahon ni Pinoy at ni PRD. Noon po bang mga panahon na yon nangyayari po ito or nangyari na po itong mga blankong mga items na ito?
Never na nangyari. Meron nga yung isang secretary ba yun, Yusek o ASEC ng DBM nagsasabi na normal daw yun na left blank. No, it never happened kasi naging chairman ako twice ng appropriation chairman at saka appropriations committee at saka naging vice chairman din ako. It never happened kasi nagbabasan man ako ng BICAM report. At saka china-challenge ko nga siya mag-present ka ng isang bicameral committee ko conference report na merong blanco. I doubt kung makaproduce kayo. Assuming nakaligtaan, siguro 1 or 2, but when say nakaligtaan 28 blank items, hindi pwede yan. 28 blank items, 13 pages na may blanco, hindi pwede yan. So, it never happened in the past. And during my time, mas maganda pa ngayon kasi na-remember ko yung produkto ng House na GAB. Gagawa namin ng summary yun at saka yung produkto ng Senate na GAB gagawa ng summary. Ilagay mo side by side, gagawa ka ng matrix. Then look at the difference of the variances. So doon ka magsimula sa yung bicameral conference committee. So mas madali noong araw eh. Ang nangyari kasi ngayon, binago talaga lahat at it seems naging third chamber yung bicameral conference committee.
Pero sinasabi po nila, Congressman, na ang kanila pong sinasabi ngayon is yun daw pong BICAM report ay hindi naman daw po siya constitutional in a sense na hindi pa naman siya batas. So, hindi daw ito papansinin ng Supreme Court. Ano pong masasabi ninyo doon?
Diyan sila nagkamali because bicameral tayo eh. Meron tayong House, meron tayong Senate. Yung produkto ng House at produkto ng Senate, magkaiba. Dahil iba yung produkto, gawin mong i-harmonize mo o kuhan mo. Mag-uupo sila para mag-agree, i-reconcile yung difference. So, for it to be reconciled, kailangan mo ng bicameral conference committee at pa nag-agree na, gagawa ka na ng report, bicameral conference committee report. Saan ka kukuha ng basis para sa GAA mo kung wala kang bicameral conference committee report? So, you cannot jump. This is for your enrolled bill is the bicameral conference committee report. So you cannot disregard the bicameral conference committee report. You cannot belittle it because whatever figures are in that reconciled bicameral conference committee report, yun dapat ang lalabas sa yung enrolled bill ng General Appropriations Act. Or kung General Appropriations Act, yun na yung mapipirmahan na yung presidente. So, mali yung nagsasabi ng gano'n.
Hihingan ko lang po kayo ng opinion patungkol doon sa, kasi kung makikita nyo, kumakalat po sa social media noong mga unang araw, umiiwas itong si Chairman Kimbo sa mga tanong patungkol dito, and then yesterday, ito po yung eksaktong sinabi niya. At the point of signing by the BICAM members ay lahat naman po ng appropriations or amounts have already been decided upon. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng naging correction sa ating technical staff, lahat po yan ay ministerial na lamang. Ibig sabihin, calculator activity na lang po. Ano pong masasabi ninyo doon?
Kung determine nila ang amount, bakit hindi nila sinulat sa bicameral conference committee report? Second, there is no such thing as ministerial correction because kung titingnan mo yung bicameral conference committee report sa last part, meron doon nakasulat omnibus motion. And that omnibus motion, at saka every year, meron yung omnibus motion eh. So, halos may memorize ko na nga yan. Yung omnibus motion allows the technical staff, no, the technical working group to make the necessary corrections for grammatical, typographical at printing errors.